There are games we buy and forget, but then there are those worth every penny, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. These are 23 insane single-player games that deliver unforgettable stories, top-tier gameplay, and worlds you simply don't want to leave behind. Each one proves that gaming can still be memorable, intense, and deeply rewarding. If you want to spend your time and money wisely, this list is for you. Before we dive in, if you can give us that extra push, hit subscribe. We're close to hitting 50K subs, and every new person helps keep this project alive while bringing more lists, discoveries, and amazing games your way. So let's do this together, and now let's get started. Ghost of Yotei is one of the most beautiful and atmospheric games ever made, transporting you to feudal Japan in a tale that blends honor, vengeance, and spirituality. The story follows a warrior seeking redemption, facing both human and supernatural forces amid the snow and silence of the mountains. Each mission reveals secrets about the past and the weight of choices, creating a melancholic and powerful narrative. A journey that grips you not only through action, but through emotion. Gameplay is refined yet brutal. The combat system rewards precision, patience, and observation with duels that feel like choreographies. Stealth is rewarding, and every well-timed strike carries the weight of the blade. Skills evolve naturally, and each new technique changes how you approach enemies. The sense of full control makes every victory feel personal and satisfying. The world itself is a spectacle. Frozen villages, forgotten temples, and snow-covered forests create a living, detailed setting. Light reflected on ice, the sound of the wind, and the artistic care in every corner make the game feel like a painting in motion. It's the kind of world that makes you stop just to admire the view before fighting again. Ghost of Yotei is more than a game. It's a cinematic experience crafted with soul. It delivers emotion, challenge, and beauty in every second, showing that the samurai genre still has much to offer. A true interactive masterpiece, blending narrative and action with mastery. The Witcher 3 is the perfect example of how an RPG can become legendary. The story places you in a vast, unforgiving world full of intrigue, magic, and moral dilemmas. Every choice has weight, and every character feels alive. The main plot is gripping, but it's the side quests that truly shine. Many so well written, they could stand alone as complete stories. It's a universe that breathes and reacts to your actions. Gameplay is dense and layered, mixing combat, alchemy, and exploration with near-perfect balance. The fighting system is fluid, demanding reflex mastery and preparation. Brewing potions, sharpening blades, and studying monsters before facing them is all part of the process. Decisions in battle carry real impact, and progression always feels meaningful. It's a game that rewards attention and strategy. The world is nothing short of breathtaking. Plains, ruined villages, swamps, and castles form a living, vibrant landscape. The day-night cycle and dynamic weather heighten immersion, while the art design is jaw-dropping. Every corner hides a story, a mystery, or a surprise. The Witcher 3 is a landmark in RPG history. Epic, emotional, and brilliantly constructed, few games balance narrative, freedom, and depth with such care. An unforgettable journey where every decision leaves a mark long after the credits roll. Days Gone is a tale of solitude, loss, and the struggle to keep fighting when the world has already given up. The story follows a biker riding through deserted highways in search of purpose, trying to survive in an apocalypse that destroyed everything he knew. The creatures roaming the forests are only part of the danger. The real horror lies in people's despair. It's a story of love, pain, and starting over, told with a rare human touch for an action game. Gameplay blends action, survival, and strategy with finesse. The hordes are the highlight. Hundreds of creatures chasing you relentlessly, forcing you to improvise routes, traps, and ammo management. The bike is more than transport. It's freedom, companionship, and risk, all at once, essential for every trip and escape. The map is vast and unpredictable, full of details and small stories that enrich immersion. The open world is dense and atmospheric. Misty forests, collapsed bridges, and towns swallowed by time paint a picture of pure melancholy. Weather changes and the day-night cycle aren't just visual, but directly affect enemy behavior. Every ride carries the weight of isolation and uncertainty. Days Gone is about finding a reason to move forward when everything seems lost. It delivers genuine emotion, tense combat, and an atmosphere that grips you until the end. A game that aged like fine wine, now remembered fondly by those who see the value of stories that speak straight to the heart. Metro Exodus is a journey of hope amid ruin. The story follows a group of survivors leaving Moscow's dark tunnels in search of a new home on the devastated surface. Every stop along the way reveals a new landscape, a new danger, and a glimpse of humanity still holding on. It's a tale of faith, sacrifice, and the eternal search for light in a world swallowed by darkness. Gameplay combines tactical shooting and survival with remarkable precision. Ammo and air filters are precious, and every wasted bullet can cost dearly. The game alternates between claustrophobic tension and wide-open maps, striking a perfect balance. Handcrafted weapons and the customization system make each fight personal and unpredictable, always keeping danger close. The settings are varied and stunning. From radioactive forests to frozen deserts, every environment tells a story through its details. Natural lighting and ambient sound are incredibly immersive. You feel the cold, the dust, and the silence of a war-torn world. It's a universe that feels alive, even in ruins. Metro Exodus is more than a post-apocalyptic shooter. It's a reflection on hope and survival. It shows that even in destruction, there's still room for kindness and courage. An intense, emotional journey built for those who want stories that linger long after the end. The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the boldest and most intense narratives ever created. The story is a journey of vengeance and grief in a brutal world, where every choice carries devastating consequences. There is no right or wrong, only survival and regret. The writing is raw and human, showing how hatred consumes even the strongest. It's a narrative that grips you with emotional weight and realism, leaving no one unscathed. Gameplay evolves everything the first game introduced. Combat is tense, brutal, and intimate, with animations and physics that make each encounter unpredictable. Stealth is essential, and enemies act with chilling intelligence, calling each other by name and reacting in lifelike ways. The variety of weapons and improvised tools keeps the pacing dynamic, with each fight a mix of adrenaline and fear. The world is a masterpiece of detail and atmosphere. Destroyed cities, forests overtaken by nature, and interiors filled with memories create a haunting portrait of a world stripped of humanity. Every location tells a story, even those no one lived to tell. The art direction and realism are staggering, making everything feel tangible and painfully real. The Last of Us Part 2 is an emotional punch and a masterclass in interactive storytelling. It dares to disturb, to make you reflect, to break expectations. A game that divides opinion, but for those who understand its purpose, few stories have ever been told with such courage and truth. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an epic about the end of an era and the weight of choices that define who we are. The story places you in the heart of the Old West, within a gang of outlaws struggling to survive as the world changes around them. It's a grand narrative full of nuance, where every dialogue, glance, and decision builds one of the most human journeys ever seen in games. The tone is melancholic, tragic, and deeply emotional. Gameplay balances action, routine, and contemplation. Missions are dense and varied, ranging from cinematic shootouts to hunts and quiet moments by the campfire. The honor system gives weight to choices, and the slower pace reinforces immersion. Every detail, from gunfire to lassoing, was designed to feel real and organic, connecting you to the world naturally. The universe of the game is breathtaking. Endless plains, misty forests, crystal lakes, and vibrant towns form one of the most alive open worlds ever created. Wildlife reacts to your behavior, the weather shifts with time, and every sunset looks like a painting. It's impossible not to stop occasionally just to take it in. Red Dead Redemption 2 is more than a tale of gunslingers. It's a love letter to the end of the Wild West, a game that speaks of loyalty, freedom, and regret with rare maturity. It doesn't just define a genre, it redefines what it means to live a story inside a game. Pacific Drive is survival like no other, where your car isn't just transport, it's your only chance to stay alive. The story unfolds in a mysterious region known for paranormal phenomena and structures that defy physics. Trapped there, your goal is simple yet desperate. Survive, explore, and figure out what's happening as the world collapses around you. A lonely, tense journey where every drive could be your last. Gameplay brilliantly combines driving, exploration, and resource management. Repairing, upgrading, and fueling the car become essential to survival. Every trip out of the garage is a gamble between what you might gain and the risk of never returning. Weather systems and anomalies make each route unpredictable, demanding attention and care in even the smallest details. The visuals are immersive and original. Fog-draped roads, forests lit by strange lightning, and abandoned structures create a hypnotic, eerie landscape. The car rattles, vibrates, and feels alive, reinforcing the sense of isolation and fragility. The atmosphere is thick and constant, as if the world itself is watching every mile you travel. Pacific Drive is about facing the unknown with fear, curiosity, and a spark of courage, a game that transforms something ordinary, like driving, into pure survival. Tense, unpredictable, and unlike anything else in the genre. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the most ambitious RPGs ever made, blending deep storytelling with total freedom. The tale begins with your character infected by a parasite that threatens to consume your mind, and the search for a cure takes you into a world of intrigue, gods, and impossible choices. Every decision shapes the course of the adventure, affecting allies, enemies, and even the fate of the entire world. It's dense, emotional, and unpredictable, built to be lived in your own way. Gameplay is strategic and overflowing with possibilities. Turn-based battles demand planning, positioning, and reading your foes, turning each encounter into a tactical puzzle. Outside of combat, freedom is nearly total. Quests can be solved in countless ways, through dialogue, manipulation, or sheer chaos. No path is the same, and every action has consequence. The world is vast and alive, brimming with stories and secrets. Bustling cities, mysterious forests, and ancient ruins create a setting that reacts to your choices. Characters are complex and well-written, with even minor NPCs carrying personality and purpose. Everything is designed to keep you curious and invested until the end. Baldur's Gate 3 is a modern landmark in the genre. It delivers emotion, depth, and freedom at rare levels, showing how an RPG can be truly personal and unpredictable. A game that not only respects the player, but invites them to create their own legend within a world that feels limitless. Elden Ring is the very definition of grandeur in game form. The story places you in a world shattered by gods, kings, and curses, where every ruin and every creature tells a fragment of a forgotten past. There are no prepared paths or easy answers, only the constant pull of discovery and danger. A solitary journey driven by curiosity and the need to uncover the truth behind this colossal, mysterious universe. Gameplay is challenging and rewarding, carrying the Souls-like essence but expanding on everything the genre has done. Combat is sharp and versatile, letting you build your own fighting style. Classes, spells, and weapons offer near-limitless options, and each boss victory brings genuine triumph. The freedom is total, and exploration without direction lies at the heart of the experience. The open world is staggering in both scale and imagination. Golden forests, cursed swamps, and towering castles create a realm of sheer immersion. The art direction is jaw-dropping, with landscapes like paintings and creatures like nightmares. Silence, music, and the wind all work together to build an atmosphere that feels almost spiritual. Elden Ring is one of the greatest achievements in gaming history. It balances mystery, challenge, and freedom like few others. A game that doesn't hold your hand but invites you to lose yourself and find yourself in a world that feels alive and eternal. Cyberpunk 2077 rose from the ashes to become one of the finest RPGs of this generation. The story unfolds in Night City, a futuristic metropolis where ambition and corruption spiral into power and decay. You live the rise and fall of a mercenary searching for meaning in a world ruled by corporations and cybernetic implants. A tale about identity, humanity, and the cost of wanting to be more than you are. Gameplay has grown far beyond its launch. Combat is dynamic, fusing gunplay, hacking, and cybernetic abilities into a relentless rhythm. Missions offer multiple approaches and endings, while customization is deep enough to reshape your entire playstyle. The city itself teems with side stories, secrets, and characters that feel alive. Night City is the true spectacle. Neon-lit streets, skyscrapers scraping the sky, and alleys where anything can happen make up one of the most detailed cities ever created. The contrast between luxury and misery is constant, with each district carrying its own identity. The setting is so convincing, it's easy to forget there's a world beyond it. Cyberpunk 2077 is the perfect example of redemption. Today, it's everything it promised to be: a dense, cinematic, unforgettable RPG, a story about flaws, ambition, and the price of trying to matter in a world that trusts no one. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the triumphant return of a classic that shaped the history of action and horror games. The story follows a rescue mission that quickly turns into a desperate fight for survival. Everything feels denser, more cinematic, and more tense, with a rhythm that never slows down. This reimagining modernizes every moment without losing the original essence, maintaining that perfect balance between suspense, action, and constant dread. The gameplay is flawless, delivering fluid and tactical combat. The refined aiming system, dodges, and smart use of the environment make every encounter intense and rewarding. The game demands focus and strategy, and the improved enemy AI makes battles even more unpredictable. The sense of danger is real, and every bullet counts. The visuals are stunningly detailed, with environments that seem to pulse with both life and decay. Villages, castles, and laboratories gain new layers of realism, full of particles, shadows, and textures that create total immersion. The atmosphere is heavy, claustrophobic, and beautiful at the same time, a rare balance to achieve. Resident Evil 4 Remake is an example of how to remake a classic with both respect and boldness. It honors the past, elevates the present, and delivers one of the most intense and complete games of this generation, a must-play for any fan of action and horror. Batman Arkham Knight closes one of the greatest trilogies ever made in gaming with an epic and dark story. The game shows a hero at his limit, facing his deepest fears and most dangerous enemies in a Gotham consumed by chaos. The narrative is full of twists, emotional moments, and internal conflicts that explore the most human side of the Dark Knight. It's a grand and emotional farewell. The gameplay is simply addictive. The hand-to-hand combat system remains fluid and precise, allowing for fast, cinematic combos. The new Batmobile mechanics add speed and impact, making city exploration thrilling. Side missions are rich in content, with iconic villains and challenges that test both skill and reasoning. Gotham is one of the most impressive cities ever created. Constant rain filled with reflections, lights, and ruins, it conveys both oppression and beauty at once. Every street and alley seems to have a story, and the level of detail is incredible. The feeling of patrolling a living city, even amid chaos, is unmatched. Batman Arkham Knight is the culmination of everything the series built, a powerful cinematic game full of soul. It delivers a worthy ending, showing the hero at his most human and vulnerable, and at the same time more legendary than ever. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 takes medieval realism to another level, expanding on everything the first game did best. The story continues right after previous events, plunging once again into a Europe torn by wars, beliefs, and personal vendettas. The plot is dense and historically grounded, with no dragons or magic, only ordinary people trying to survive brutal times. Every dialogue, quest, and choice reflects the weight of the era, making the journey authentic and unpredictable. It's a tale of honor, faith, and the cost of justice. The gameplay is complex, deep, and completely realistic. First-person combat is a true duel of technique and patience, demanding directional control, timing, and stamina. Nothing is simplified. Fighting, eating, resting, even personal hygiene are part of the routine. Progression is organic. The more you practice, the better you become. This more human pace makes learning rewarding, and every victory feels like a personal achievement. The world is vast and breathtaking in every detail. Lush forests, sunlit fields, and fortified castles create the feeling of truly living in the 15th century. Weather changes dynamically. NPCs follow their own routines, and villages breathe with life and history. Everything feels so natural, it's easy to forget it's a game. It's a true interactive historical portrait, crafted with insane attention to detail. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 is a love letter to authenticity. It offers no shortcuts or fantasies, only a relentless yet beautiful world that rewards those who understand and respect its rules. A game that blends narrative, realism, and emotion in a way few others can, showing how the past can be the perfect setting for unforgettable stories. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a poetic, tragic, and visually breathtaking RPG. The story unfolds in a world ruled by the Painter, an entity that erases every person once they reach a certain age. This cruel countdown dictates humanity's fate, and a small group embarks on a desperate journey to break the cycle before time runs out. The concept is brilliant and emotional, exploring themes like mortality, fear, and the inevitability of time's passage. It's a tale that blends beauty and despair in perfect measure. The gameplay is a spectacle of creativity. Turn-based combat uses a hybrid system of action and precision where reflexes and timing are essential. Each ability feels like a dance of effects and movements, and enemies demand rhythm and reading. The sensation of fighting on a living stage is unique, and progression rewards those who master synchronization and understand each enemy's pattern. Everything is built with elegance and flow. The visuals are simply unbelievable. Every environment looks like a hand-painted masterpiece, blending European architecture, fantasy, and surrealism. Colors and lighting create an atmosphere that shifts between dream and nightmare. Characters and creatures are expressive and detailed, while the world conveys constant melancholy and urgency. It's a game made to be contemplated as much as played. Expedition 33 is one of the most artistic and promising projects in the genre. It combines emotional depth, engaging combat, and impeccable visual direction into something truly new. An RPG that speaks about the beauty of living, even when time is against you, and one that promises to be remembered for years as one of the most striking experiences of recent times. Oblivion Remastered brings back one of the most iconic fantasy worlds in gaming history, now with a new look worthy of the modern generation. The story places you at the center of a crisis between kingdoms, where portals to a hellish dimension begin to open, unleashing horrors that threaten all existence. It's an epic journey of power, destiny, and sacrifice, where every choice carries real weight. Even years later, the strength of its narrative and the sense of adventure remain impressive. The gameplay preserves the original's classic charm, but with refined mechanics and smoother flow. The progression system is completely open. You shape your character however you want, defining your style through actions. Battles are intense, spells visually stunning, and new animations make combat more responsive. Exploration is rewarding, with a massive map that invites you to get lost in quests and secrets scattered everywhere. The remastered visuals are a spectacle of both nostalgia and technology. Cyrodiil's forests, ruined temples, and imperial fortresses come alive with textures, lighting, and details that have never looked more real. The golden era atmosphere of RPGs is preserved, now with the level of immersion only modern consoles can offer. It feels like revisiting an old dream with new eyes. Oblivion Remastered is more than a return, it's a celebration. It honors the legacy that paved the way for countless modern RPGs and proves that great adventures never age. A must-play for anyone who loves open worlds filled with stories, magic, and complete freedom. God of War 3 is pure fury in game form. The story picks up immediately after previous events, throwing you into a war between gods and titans that shakes both heavens and earth. It's a spectacle of destruction and vengeance, where every act is more grand than the last. The narrative blends mythology, tragedy, and brutality, and every battle feels like the climax of a Greek epic. Even years later, its emotional and visual impact is staggering. The gameplay is a display of power and precision. Combat is fast, heavy, and stylish, with devastating combos and weapons that completely shift the dynamic of fights. Bosses are colossal, with battles that blend gameplay and cinematics seamlessly. The feeling of total control and the relentless pace make every clash unforgettable. The visuals, even in the remaster, still impress with their level of detail and the sheer scale of the settings. Ruined temples, stormy skies, and gigantic mythological creatures create a visual and auditory spectacle few series have ever matched. The sense of proportion is monumental. Every environment feels designed to leave you breathless. God of War 3 is the peak of an era of brutal cinematic action. It combines intensity, technique, and narrative in an experience that still defines the genre. An absolute classic, showing how mythology and vengeance can merge to create one of the most epic journeys gaming has ever seen. GTA 5 is a phenomenon that defined generations and continues to impress to this day. The story follows three criminals at different stages of life, united by ambition, revenge, and chaos. The script is sharp, full of dark humor and social critique that portray an America obsessed with power and fame. Each character brings a unique perspective, and the intertwining plots turn the game into a true urban epic. It's pure entertainment, with a touch of genius. The gameplay is varied and addictive. The character switching system keeps everything dynamic, creating absurdly cinematic situations. Heists are the highlight, complex, strategic, and incredibly exciting. The physics, driving, and shooting mechanics are so polished that even the simplest tasks feel fun. With so many side activities, it's easy to spend hours without even touching the main story. Los Santos' open world is a spectacle on its own. Every street, neighborhood, and desert trail was built with incredible attention to detail. The city breathes life, with NPCs, traffic, and random events making everything feel real. Lighting, weather, and environmental variety turn every drive into something new. Few games have captured the chaos and beauty of modern life with such precision. GTA is more than a game, it's a cultural icon. It defined what a modern sandbox is and remains relevant even a decade later. A title that continues to prove that freedom, creativity, and a touch of madness are still the perfect recipe for success. Assassin's Creed Shadows finally fulfills the dream of bringing the series to feudal Japan, and the result is grand. The story follows two warriors from opposite backgrounds, united by destiny and conviction. In a time of intrigue, war, and social transformation, the narrative balances politics, honor, and vengeance with impressive dramatic weight. Each mission is a piece of a tale that blends violence and philosophy, creating one of the franchise's most mature stories. The gameplay is a spectacle of fluidity and versatility. The combat system offers real depth, with different styles ranging from precise stealth to direct action. Traditional Japanese weapons, like katanas and spears, are recreated with weight and elegance. Parkour feels more natural than ever, and switching between characters brings variety and strategy. Every choice changes how you approach the world. Recreated Japan is a feast for the eyes. Flowering fields, temples high in the mountains, and villages drenched in rain and mist form a breathtaking setting. The color palette and use of light build a cinematic atmosphere, and the attention to historical detail shows rare dedication. It's a map that invites contemplation as much as action. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the perfect union between the franchise's past and its future. It blends epic storytelling, refined mechanics, and unforgettable world building. A title that not only fulfills a long-held promise, but also raises the series to a new level of quality and maturity. Disco Elysium is one of the most intelligent and provocative works ever created in gaming. The story puts you in the shoes of a detective destroyed by addiction and regret, trying to solve a murder in a city on the brink of collapse. But the real mystery isn't the crime, it's the protagonist himself. Every dialogue reveals layers of his mind and the ideologies shaping the world. It's a dense, political, and deeply human story where words are your most powerful weapons. The gameplay revolves around conversations, choices, and dice rolls, but it's far more complex than it seems. The skill system turns your mind into a battlefield, where different voices fight for control of your decisions. Every interaction can completely change the course of the investigation. There's no traditional combat. The conflict lies in who you choose to be and how you face your own decay. The visuals are artistic and melancholic, with hand-painted environments resembling a living watercolor. The subtle score and slow pace reinforce the sense of solitude and introspection. The city mirrors the moral and political collapse of its people, and every character is so well written they feel pulled from a great novel. It's a sad yet fascinating world where every conversation reflects reality. Disco Elysium is a unique experience, an RPG without battles but filled with internal struggles. It questions, challenges, and moves you, proving that narrative and writing can be as powerful as any sword. A game made to think, to feel, and to remember. Uncharted 4 is the perfect conclusion to one of the greatest adventures ever told in gaming. The story follows a treasure hunter trying to leave his past behind, only to be pulled back into one final great mystery. It's a journey about bonds, sacrifices, and the cost of choices. The narrative is cinematic, full of emotion, twists and dialogues that feel genuine, a worthy finale for a character who grew alongside an entire generation. The gameplay is a masterclass in pacing and polish. Climbing, gunfights, and chases flow seamlessly, creating a constant rhythm between action and story. Combat arenas allow freedom of approach, while ropes and grappling hooks add verticality to battles. The set pieces are massive, with every scene feeling like it came straight out of a big-budget adventure film. The environments are jaw-dropping. From tropical islands to forgotten monasteries, each location was crafted with insane attention to detail. The game blends technical realism with impeccable artistic direction, creating moments of pure wonder. Lighting and textures make everything feel alive and natural, reinforcing the sensation of being inside a blockbuster production. Uncharted 4 defines the meaning of adventure. It moves, impresses, and delivers a finale worthy of one of gaming's greatest franchises. A landmark that shows the power of narrative and emotion when fully intertwined with action. Stellar Blade is pure energy from start to finish, one of the most intense and stylish games of the new generation. The story follows a warrior on a ravaged planet, fighting against alien creatures that nearly wiped out humanity. Between colossal battles and moments of reflection, the game builds a tale about faith, redemption, and what remains of humankind amid ruin. It's an exciting and emotional narrative, blending action and purpose in every scene. The gameplay is precise, technical, and brutal. Combat demands reflexes, awareness, and timing, with dodge and parry systems that turn each fight into an electrifying duel. Unlockable abilities and a varied arsenal keep the rhythm dynamic, while bosses are true spectacles, intense, challenging, and visually stunning. Every victory carries the weight of real achievement. The visuals are breathtakingly beautiful. Ruined futuristic cities, deserts filled with remnants, and biotech temples form one of the most memorable worlds of the generation. The use of light and particles builds a cinematic feel, and the attention to detail in both environments and animations is outstanding. Everything has weight, energy, and style. It's a visual showcase from beginning to end. Stellar Blade is the perfect blend of spectacle and substance. It delivers elite combat, engaging storytelling, and jaw-dropping visuals. One of those games that not only impress, but also remain in memory as a symbol of what the PlayStation 5 is capable of. So, which of these games truly felt worth every penny for you? The one that made you think, this is why I love playing? Drop it in the comments. I want to know which one left the biggest mark and why. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe to help the channel reach 50K. Every bit of support makes a difference in keeping us bringing you lists and discoveries that are truly worth your time. And if you want to keep this vibe going, check out the other videos on the channel. There are plenty of insane recommendations waiting for you. Because at the end of the day, the best game is always the one that makes every hour spent feel like the best investment.